Hey guys, it's actually July, I don't know, 10th? I'm sorry, it's July 11th, 2019, and I'm getting pretty backed up here in the shop with flea market finds, tool store finds, and stuff like that, so I gotta step that up a little bit. So those of you who don't care for those kind of videos, I hope you bear with me. What's going on right now, mostly focusing all my time on trying to get extra tools that I've acquired that are going to be for sale, getting those out to people, and still on the hunt constantly, and been trying to get the tower. Main focus right now is the Tower of Power. Would love to get that on the boat and get the boat on the water and enjoy this July and August weather. So this is going to be, I don't know, we might call this part 8 of the big June 2019 tool score. I think the last part was part 7, where I revealed the big buy that I'm keeping for myself, the Gerstner, and went through what was in the Gerstner. I mentioned that when I went back and picked up the Gerstner, that I ended up dropping about $80 more in miscellaneous stuff, and that's this stuff right here. I think in one box around the corner. So we're going to try and blow through this in one episode. There's a lot of end mills and stuff here. We'll just kind of say, hey, look at all these end mills. Bah. All right. I think that's all I got to say. Just a reminder, if you're not currently a subscriber, or if you think you might know somebody who might be interested in subscribing to my channel, that would be great if you turn them on to my channel, because I'm on the verge, I'm on the cusp of the 10,000 subscriber mark. Yay! So hopefully that's going to happen by the at the rate right now. I think by the end of this month, or by mid-August, I think we'll be there. All right, so let's dive into this pile of stuff. So some of this stuff I saw on the first trip out, and I just passed on it and decided not to even make an offer on it, because it was just stuff I don't really need. But when he still had it on the second trip, and he had informed me that, the first trip I knew that they were putting their house on the market, and the housing market here in Massachusetts is doing really well. So if you price your property accordingly, it's going to sell quick. And sure enough, they're already under agreement, they're selling. So there was more of a sense of urgency for him to get rid of this stuff, because he's moving to Florida. So this is just this is just kind of, he threw this in. He didn't really place much value on this, but this is just a container of random little, I don't know, baubles and whatever. So yeah, I don't even know if I'm going to have a use for any of that or not. I think, well, the bolt, obviously, that's a good bolt. I'll put that with my other bolts. So there's really nothing there to get excited about. But it was just going to get thrown out. Some tiny drill bits, some tiny Allen wrenches. According to this is a saw arbor. And that's what it looks like, the screw. It's the kind of dead giveaway, but that's what this is. This is a slitting saw arbor, so it's got the weld-on shank on it, so you can put a slitting saw on that, put that right in a collet, use a slitting saw in the mill. And this is made by a company called TMX Cutting Tool Solutions, made in Poland. Okay, interesting. I'm going to take a second to get some of this stuff out of the box. Here's a pack of, was a quantity of 10. I don't know if there's any missing or not, but these are all 1/8 inch ball end L wrenches. So Allen wrenches with the ball ends on them. So MSC, so that was in there. This is a bag of dowel pins. Actually, there's an unusual screw in there, but most of what's in here is just dowel pins. These are all end mills, all different shapes and sizes. high-speed steel, the majority of them. We've got some coated ones in there too. This is Niagara cutter. But that's what pretty much this entire box is. Just to give you an idea of how deep down this goes. Alright, so and just randomly take one out. Oh, there's a nice double-ended 4 flute. Wow, do I have a lot of end mills now. I just thought I saw... I thought I saw a pretty cat. I thought I just spotted a carbide one. Maybe not. I'll tell you what though, what I do see is that down on the bottom here, there's some really small ones. That's a good way to get a really nasty cut. Digging around in here. I don't have any gloves on. Oh, there we go. That feels... That's a solid carbide. I can tell by the weight. So, majority high-speed steel. A lot of them still have the goop on them from when they came back from being sharpened. Some good stuff in there. I mean, if you gave 10 cents a piece for these cutters, you know, there's probably $20 worth in there. Does that make sense? No. All right, maybe 25 cents a piece. I don't know. It's late. Even though that's an import, it's made in Poland, so it's not Chinese junk. I don't know. I think there's $20 easily in that box right there, right? All right, next box. More end mills. There's a large 2 flute high-speed steel. It looks like mostly end mills. A lot of these coated ones in here. Some really small ones. This is a bag of short pieces, pre-cut heat shrink tubing. Always handy to have in the shop. Couple little stub drill bits, number 7s. Some really tiny drill bits there. Those are going to get probably lost in the shuffle. A lot of really small end mills in here, and then some larger ones mixed in. There's a couple of plastic trays down on the bottom here. That's all double-ended end mills for the most part. Another end mill there. Key seat cutter. Very narrow one. I think that's a key seat cutter. It's funny, usually the key seat cutters have the number right on them. I don't see anything on this one. But that looks like a key seat cutter to me. That's very thin. And then this little doohickey right here, which I saw this and I was like, oh, unfortunately it's missing the other components. But what this is a Skidmore optical center punch. And the way this is supposed to work is you have a piece that I think went here that you put this down into. And then you move that piece, you look down here and there's crosshairs, and you move that piece so that the crosshairs are directly over your layout mark where you want to put your punch mark. Then, while holding that piece that's missing from moving, you slide this out, and then what would have been in this compartment would probably be a small punch the same diameter as this that you would then slide into this piece, tap it, and you would now have a punch mark right over where this crosshair was. That's the theory behind this. So he was going to throw it out anyways because it was missing the pieces. And I said, well, you know what? I'm going to take it. A, there's the off chance I might come across the missing pieces somewhere in all of the stuff that I bought. B, even if I don't, I think I could just make these pieces. I mean, really, this is just a pretty much like a collar that would have gone on, that would, you know, this would slide into, and then make a punch, right? So anyway, that was a freebie. Speaking of freebies, McMaster-Carr catalog number 121. I don't know what year this is from. And again, you know, it's outdated more than likely. But he was throwing it out. And it's just kind of nice to be able to see what is in the catalog. You know? I mean, there's a little bit of everything in here. Kind of neat. So, how thick that thing is. And this, as the box says, Reavers. And actually, I think I threw some other stuff in here too. These are all... Well, actually, these might be little Reavers. Let me just double check. Yeah, these are all really small Reavers. I mean really small. 5.5 thousandths, 0.0825. Bunch of really small Reavers. Some getting a little bit larger there. Hey, look at this. I was about to say, hey, I wonder if that's the thing missing from the other. But you know what this is? This is an LS Starrett Standard, 1 inch. How cool is that? That would have come with one of the micrometers that I probably already got from him. There's a larger one still. This is one of these, I showed you one of these in an earlier episode, a larger version. Here's a smaller version. This is a die holder for on the lathe. You put your die in here, screw it down. 2 sizes. You flip it over and you can put different size die in there. This would go in the tailstock and be held in the tailstock by a chuck or whatever, right? And you could put your Tommy bar right in here, and you could feed this, slide right along here, and thread. Cut threads. Looks like just a dowel pin, maybe. This is a, what is this? This is a LaValle and Ide Incorporated of Windusky, Vermont reamer set. Oh, that's cool. It's a nice little set there, right? So it goes from 0.124 up to 0.5010. And there's another reamer. Bunch of Reavers. Alright, here's a little bucket that has, there's an end mill. Got some of these really long twist drills. And then just a whole bunch of dowel pins. Some random scraps of brass. But what I do like that I see in here specifically, more of those weird drill bits, are these items right here. These are 3 boring bars, really small ones. Actually, those 2 are boring bars. What is this? Yep, that's a boring bar also. Different size shank on it. This must be a adapter sleeve he made for it. Okay. Anyways, these little boring bars might come in handy. That one actually looks brand new. Here's a broken one. Huh. I wonder if that wasn't broken when he put it away. Because, I mean, why would you bother? So we'll keep the tube and we'll toss this in the scrap. Anyways, and this is a indicator holder
I don't see any brand on it. Still kind of a handy thing to have. It's been modified a little bit here. Looks like somebody milled a notch in it. Maybe they had a specific place that kind of clamp that they wanted to use on this, that this part was too wide. I don't know. And we have this box of stuff. So this is a whole bag full of nylon bushings, small nylon bolts, and I'm guessing somewhere in here are some nylon washers. So maybe at some point I'll have a project where I'll want to use those. And he just threw those in. He just didn't care about them. So I did find this one. This is the only one of these I found. This is a 3/4 inch. This is an Osborne, made in Harrison, New Jersey. 3/4 inch. This is a leather punch. But you can see like it's been reground, have a very thin edge here. And what these are good for making gaskets. If you're making a gasket and you need a 3/4 inch hole, you can cut a gasket with this. I have several sizes of these, so this is just something that he had laying there, and I said, hey, if you don't want that, I'll take it. This is a Sunbeam brand replacement part 50205. This is a dual push gas grill ignition system. So this is one of those piezo electric doohickeys where you push this and it will fire, and you'll get a high voltage discharge at this point, and if this is in close enough proximity to a ground, a spark will jump and ignite your propane. So not a bad extra thing to have, especially since I've been lighting my Weber grill lately with wooden matches. Then there's this thing, got oil on it. Don't know what this is. Now, at first I thought this was something that he just made special shop made. Okay, but then I noticed there was a manufacturer's name on it. This actually says Royal Products of Hauppauge, I don't know how you say that, New York. I can't quite tell if this is a taper or not. It almost looks like you could use, well, why would you want to put a 5C collet in this? Yeah, so if anybody knows what the heck this is, that would be great. And the rest of this box is all, well, there's some dowel pins in here, some random pieces of aluminum, a bunch of dowel pins in the bottom. Oh, hold on. That's a Starrett part right there. That's a Starrett indicator. Part of a Starrett indicator set. A lot of ground lathe tool bits. Also some brand new unused. Oh no, that one's got the relief cut on it, so that was used. But this does have a lot of nice well, that's interesting. The profile on that sucker. All right. And the contents of this box shall be the last of the big June 2019 tool buy. Which is immediately followed up by the next big acquisition. So there's just a lot of random stuff in here that I piled together and bought. And here's these are marked metal removal, electronics tooling, #1 problem solver. Under magnification, they do appear to be just very small twist drills. A lot of them. Was really pleased to see quite a few of these Starrett boxes, because I think I got some of the items that are in these boxes in earlier episodes. I think I showed you some of the stuff that I bought. I think I might have had, like, for instance, an 827A that was loose without a box. Now that can go in that box, for instance. Here's a lid to an 827B. 2 flute, single-ended, 5/8 end mill. Center points. Bunch of small ones. Brand new, unground. Appear to be mostly high-speed steel, cobalt high-speed steel.
Just a piece of round.
Stock, another end mill. Oh, the box is a Starrett box for, again, for pin vices. But again, these are for where there was 4 of all the same size in the box. So look at this weird thing. Look at the cutter geometry on that sucker. Reminds me of a devil's horns. I'm not going to open every single one of these. They're probably end mills. Here's something, well, looks like it's something he made. It's like a spade drill bit, really. That's interesting. What's that? Oh. Little itty bitty end mills. Double-ended ones. Another SPI vice stop. This clamps on top of your jaw of your Kurt vice. And this one, yep, the knobs do move. A little gummed up from not being used for a while, but all right. Well, look at that in a moment. A whole bunch of these packages with very small SPI branded things in them. God, what are these? Well, let me get on one of these packages that I can actually read. Oh, these are pin gauges. These are SPI individual pin gauges. These are 0.029 inch minus. How do you like that? Not going to need those. There's a boring bar. Nothing fancy about it. Oh, so I was about to open this bag because I saw some things in here that intrigued me. Oh, that's sharp. Hate to get that in the eyeball. So I'm not even sure what some of these things are for. Well, that's a center drill. And that's a long center drill. And that's a drill bit. Now this, because of the ball end on it, makes me think it's from a an edge finder. Or like a wiggler set. But I've never seen one that had this long rod like that on it. I don't think. But then there's this one does look like it's from a wiggler. I'm going to set those aside. What I hate about a bag of stuff like this is that I just know I'm never going to get around to sorting it out. I mean, I really should take the time and pull out like the center drills and keep them with my other center drills, any drill bits, yada yada yada. But I don't want to. I don't want to stay down here all night doing that. Oh, look at that! That's a burr. That sucker. Carbide. Maybe we'll put him in a special place too. This is a box that has what appears to be miscellaneous machinist clamps in various states of disarray. This one is marked 4481 USA, which is interesting because it's not clearly marked Starrett or Brown and Sharp, but it's marked Made in USA. Makes me think that it is. But the question is, why is it missing? Is this just a box that he threw his broken ones in? And here's the other one, 4040. Same part number on this one, 4481. So we're missing this threaded rod here. Wonder if that's this one. It's snapped. Yeah, look at that. What the hell did he do to that thing? Oof. This one's clearly marked. This is a Lufkin Rule Company number 910B. This pair of jaws right here. Alright, pulled out some more goodies from the box here. Here's a freshly sharpened high-speed steel. Some bigger center drills. Oh, there's a real biggie right there. Look at that sucker. It's a big one. What the hell number is that one? That's a number 8. Cleveland. That's a good one. Look. Starrett center finder pouch. And since it doesn't have a number right on it, I could use it with either one of those boxes I found. If I found a... there's a larger reamer. Another big... large dowel pin. Or just... oh! Look it! There we go. Watch it not even be a Starrett after all that. Son of a beekeeper. It's funny, it looks like a Starrett, but it's not marked. I think every Starrett edge finder I've had has been marked, so I'm gonna have to say that that's not a Starrett. This appears to be nothing but end mills. Not that that's a bad thing, I'm just saying. You guys don't really need to see all those. No one there. Russell Stover's candy. Russell Stover candies. I remember these. This little tiny box right here actually says that it's number 79 Vermont Precision Tool drill bits. And if you don't know what a number 79 drill bit looks like, oh no, wait a minute, these aren't drill bits. These are gauge pins again, I think. Oh, they're so flippin' small, I can't see what the hell they are. There's a load of them in there, though. Oh, pardon my language. Jesus, they're gauge pins. What the hell am I going to do with that many gauge pins? Tiny ones at that. Crying out loud. Clamp for a V-block. Unidentified. Trying to remember if there was a V-block in that first load of stuff that I bought. Bunch of dowel pins in here. It's the holder. Basically, it's a boring bar. Oh, look at these. Nice pair of Starrett jaws, but no... Huh. Oh, that's bent and broken. That's why. Bet you this was one of the ones for this. So this is again just okay. Not sure where I got cut off there and the battery died. But anyways, dowel pins. Oh, this is what I started going. I started going to this box. We had looked at this. No, actually, I just brought this over. Seeing that other vice stop made me think about this one that I had seen in the Gerstner. He had left this in the Gerstner for me. So this is one made out of solid brass. It's kind of neat. I'm actually thinking I might even keep this one for myself and sell the one I was keeping, which was, I think, another SPI like this, only just a red color. There's a couple of solid carbide. There's a 2-flute solid carbide end mill there. That one's not solid carbide. Bunch of dowel pins here. This says 30-degree angle, and it is a solid carbide 2-flute. And this is a big money one right here if you were to buy it today. This is A-Trax, made in USA. This is a 3/4 by 3/4 shank 3-flute ball. So this is a ball end mill, 3-flute. And this is brand new. It's still all sticky. It's got that coating on it. I don't think this has ever been used. This is solid carbide. You can tell by the weight. That's a big money end mill right there. And I don't think I have many of those, so probably not going to sell that anytime soon. This is a bag of drill bits. And this entire bag of drill bits, they are ground with a very, very shallow rake angle. Extremely shallow. This not very thrilling looking thing is in fact actually a pretty nice Brown and Sharp model 749A V-block. I tell you what, if I had the pair of these with the clamps, that'd be some serious money sitting there. But unfortunately I just have the one, and unless the clamp was somewhere with the other stuff that I bought, I don't have it. But actually, it's in pretty good shape. There are no oopsies on it. It's actually clearly marked right here. And then just some shop-made little angle plates or angle blocks. Alright, all that's left in the bottom of the box here is, for the most part, about maybe, I don't know, 8 or 10 various high-speed steel end mills, but yeah, that's a high-speed steel 2-flute, large one. And actually that's another large 2-flute high-speed steel end mill. So that's pretty much it. That obviously is not for that big V-block. So before I close this video out, I just wanted to show that I went through the Gerstner just now because I hadn't emptied it out yet. The stuff that I had showed when I showed off the Gerstner, and did find a couple of things. One of the things I found in a little plastic container with some other odds and ends was this piece right here that was missing from this boring head that he gave me, that he said was damaged. And I figured out what's wrong with this boring head, and sadly what's wrong with it is that there's a piece of swarf or something, or actually that's probably part of the head. The way this boring head works is these two grooves right here are what these two lips sit in, and then what adjusts the boring head is when you turn this, these fine threads are supposed to feed the head in and out. In order for that to happen, this has to be able to thread into the body, this part right here. And what has happened is, if I push this in, you see what's happening there? If I put a little bit of an angle on this, I can actually turn it and it engages the threads. What's happened is the threads are stripped out. So I don't know how somebody managed to do that. But look how that see how that just goes in and out? Not supposed to. It's actually supposed to screw in and out. So the only way I can foresee fixing this would be to literally replace this whole part right here. And the funny thing is, I went online and wasn't able to find parts for these, except for, I think on eBay, I found a guy selling these replacement heads for like $50. Okay, for the 202. So, ironically, the piece that I don't need that's still good on mine, this piece, is the only piece I could find. The only other thing I could think of, well, no. My thought was, if you bored this oversize and then pressed the sleeve in there and then threaded the sleeve to this, but the problem is, see the edge of the hole, the edge of the existing hole comes right up against this. So there's no way in heck you could do that. Looks pretty good when you put it back together, huh? Too bad it's got a horrible secret. Oh, and then also going through the Gerstner, I found the following items. Oh, never mind the fishtail. I was just pulling that out because I'm going to sell it. The American Caliper Company of Rockford, Illinois. I haven't heard of that one. Anyways. Yeah, so what did I find in there in the Gerstner? Some miscellaneous edge finders loose. And there's the 827A. Here's another no name. That's a General Hardware. And then this Wiggler. It's funny, this says Nork General Hardware. So this is a Wiggler with a very fine little tip on it. But I don't remember there being another Wiggler in this this hoard, so I'm wondering whether or not this is part of this. No reason why it can't be. Except this. I'm wrong about this. This is not a Wiggler. I don't know what the hell that is. Oh, that's a little burr. Alright. So, I think I could put together a little Wiggler set here. This is another one of these tap followers. Can't find any markings on it. But I think I already put one of these in my toolbox for keeping. So, that's a one I can sell. But this is what I was really glad to see in there. This little doggy bone. And this. Because that sorts out the mystery over here. See that little doggy bone right there? That's that. So that goes on here. I don't remember. Is this supposed to go on here maybe? Remember, I looked it up in the Starrett tool catalog. I looked it up already, and I don't remember, but I think this is supposed to go on here like this. And this acts as the little foot to push on it. So that helps kind of a little bit with some of the missing stuff here. Oh yeah, what was I gonna do? The 827A. That goes in there like that. And then in here. And there we go. Now that's ready for sale. Alright guys, thanks for bearing with me while I knock out the last of this last episode of this particular tool hoard. I think the next thing that's probably going to come up after this is I probably already editing and working on the latest tool hoard. And we got some tool store buys and stuff coming up too. So, all right. Thanks for watching. If you're not already a subscriber, please consider subscribing. And if you like what you see, please hit the like button.